yeah, Tehseen, it is becoming a little bit political. What would you like to say? Like, what we can learn from Japan when it comes to what actually Anandji said? So now your challenge.
Check.
No, Tehseen, here. Here, no.
Now I'll have to say the opposition's mic is always switched off. But konnichiwa, namaskar, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Nupur.
You're welcome.
I don't really tell my wife where I go. She knows it.
Yeah, he tells his wife. Definitely, always.
Not just your wife, even Amit Shah knows where you...
Oh, we are lucky, by the way.
I don't know about my wife, he definitely knows. But jokes apart, thank you so much for having me here. And when you reached out and you said you were organizing this Connect India Japan program and this Indo-Japanese conclave, it was absolutely an honor and delight. And immediately in that instant I said I will be here because I see the tremendous hard work you do behind the fostering the relationship between these two great nations. Not just two great nations, but two great civilizations that have so much to offer to the world. And the Indo-Japanese partnership, a lot has been spoken by the Honorable Minister, by the DCM about the cultural ties. But even going further, the two great nations have so much to offer the globe. We share similar values of democracy, of tolerance, liberal values, of helping our people rise.
How about politics?
And politics, of course, politics. Democracy, I said democracy, that is politics. That is politics. And for me personally, my connection with Japan started with Japanese food. I must confess, I am a huge fan of Japanese food. I can live on Japanese food. I eat Japanese food perhaps 4 times a day. When my wife and I were pregnant, we also had our baby shower at a Japanese lounge. So we're very, and that's what drew me first to Japan. And when I went to Japan, I was mesmerized the first time I went to Japan. Here was a great civilization that had so much to offer the world. And as an Indian, when I came there, I realized so many things that we as India and the world can take. For example, the way people are treated with respect, the way there is cleanliness, the way there is, for example, if in a metro, nobody talks on the phone. These were such small things that you could learn from this country. And Japan has a partnership with my home city of Pune, so I got to interact with a lot of Japanese. And again, it is something that I could imbibe a lot of this culture. But also, interestingly, when I was in Japan, I realized that there is a word that the Japanese use for the sun and the moon, to respect the sun and the moon while speaking. It is very similar to Indian values. We pray to the sun, and that's what the minister also said in the Rising Sun Conclave. So it is shared values, the influence of Buddhism and Indian values on the culture. Your religion, the way you all practice your religious belief, the values you all bring in also coincide with Indian values, the values of the Indian culture, and of course the Buddhist traditions, especially during your funerals, the way you all look towards the afterlife. Again, that coincides with the Indian culture. So there is a tradition in Japan where it's believed the ancestors return to Japan.
Obon.
Yes, it's celebrated. Food is served. This is very close to Indian tradition, so that happens in India as well.
Exactly.
So these shared values, miles apart from two countries, and yet the bond that an average Indian feels very connected to Japan. It's not just about the Japanese technology, which as kids we grew up admiring, but it's just a cultural connection that cannot be defined. I think that's amazing. I don't want to make it too political, but I just will answer one question on the electoral bonds. Neither the BJP or the Congress can disclose who gave them the money because that's the way of the electoral bonds. What the opposition is asking the government to do is asking the State Bank of India to disclose the names of the donors and to whom. That's how the quid pro quo will be established. So just for the record, yes, the opposition's also gotten money through electoral bonds. But for example, Anand, if you've given me money and I'm the opposition, I won't know technically you've given it. So therefore, the opposition cannot say it officially. It has to be through the medium of the banks, which were supposed to keep this information secret. only with themselves. There's a difference. I don't want to make this political. I would like to make this spiritual and about cultural, because I don't want to make a political tutu meme. That we'll reserve for Rahul's show, where you can ask for 30 seconds more.
Actually, people are really enjoying, and it's just such a great platform that we all are friends, they are friends, and but they can just fight with each other, when it comes to issues. This is really wonderful, and thank you so much.
That's the basis of democracy.
Exactly.
You must passionately disagree with each other, but still, after that disagreement, sit together and have a cup of coffee or sake.
Yeah, maybe sake. Okay, over there, that is sake barrel. That is sake barrel, yeah. I think Rahul doesn't drink, so it doesn't attract him much. Okay, but still, sake is not considered as alcohol. You can just drink, it's a spiritual way also. You can give it to them.